we're joined by Laura Easter here. She is the Chief Operating Officer at Elk Hill. And look, guys, we're talking about the transition of returning back to not just school, but to work as well. So this can have an impact on children and adults. So Laura, you kind of have some ways to help us ease into this transition because it's only the second week of January. So what do you have for us?
It is. and most of us are not quite used to that return. And, you know, Candace, we work at Elk Hill with children and families in a variety of settings in our specialized schools, our group homes, but also in the public schools, in the community, and across the board, transitioning back is a challenge. We've had disruptions in sleep. We've had disruptions to our eating schedule. We've generally had more free time, less structure. And so giving that all up is hard, especially for children who are more used to routine. One of the things that can temper that disappointment of having to return off the holiday is the excitement of coming back, being with friends, being with colleagues, sharing the excitement that we experienced. One of the things we have to remember, though, is that's not necessarily the same for everyone. There are families for whom the holidays are extremely stressful, and that may be to increased economic pressures, it may be food insecurity, difficult family relationships. So for those folks, coming off the holidays can actually lead to an increased sense of isolation, feelings of being less than, and disappointment. And so being sensitive to the fact that not everyone is coming back from some storybook holiday experience.
Sure, that's a very helpful thing that I think we all can do, right? That's not a hard task, right?
No, it's just, you know, if you have someone how the holidays were and that doesn't lead to a great conversation, the most sensitive thing to do may be to just move to another topic.
Right, sure.
Sensitive to that.
So what are some other things? I know you guys have some other strategies as well to just kind of help us get through this transition.
Yeah, so personally, I think of January as the month of keeping it simple.
Okay.
Right? and the first thing to do is acknowledge that this transition may be difficult for all of us. For children, for parents, for teachers, we're all struggling with it, and offer a little bit of grace and patience with that. The next thing to do is really look at easing back into those schedules, easing back into a normal sleep time, a normal eating food. Don't necessarily throw out all the junk food this weekend that you've had. Ease, you know, ease it, throw out a little bit, make it easy on yourself, keep it simple. Try, if possible, to allow for a little less structured time on the weekends for children, and then the evenings, so they're not going cold turkey. If you can avoid jumping headlong back into crazy, hectic schedules in the month of January, gradually picking things up, that can help. And, you know, the other thing to remember is that routine and repetition for adults can get boring, but for children, it offers a great sense of predictability and security.
Oh, wow.
So one of the things, you know, think about your children's favorite foods. And so the month of January, if Monday's going to be mac and cheese night, and Wednesday's going to be breakfast for dinner night, and Fridays are going to be pizza and a movie, that can help make the transition easier for everybody.
Love all of this. Now look, I know we're throwing things at people kind of quick here as we're wrapping up the interview. We can go to your website, elkhill.org/resources, and kind of find some of these helpful tips?
Yes, so you may not have an Elk Hill counselor in your school, but schools are a great place to start with resources. School counselors, school social workers, and that's what they're there for. For parents should not be, and children should not be embarrassed to reach out during times of stress and transition for that extra help. And we have great resources in the community, and we have several of those highlighted on the website.
I love it. Laura, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us and giving us these awesome tips to transition here back into work and school. We'll be right back with more Talk About Town today.